Today we're going to start on our back in corpse pose. If it doesn't feel comfortable to have the legs out straight, you can bend the knees. You can pause the video, take a moment to get set up with props, whatever you'd like. We're just going to begin relaxing, just noticing our breath just as it is. You can begin to deepen your inhalation, noticing your belly rise, filling up your lungs, filling up your throat. And exhaling, letting all the air out of the body. We'll begin to wiggle our toes, wiggle our fingers, bring our awareness back into the room. And we'll just begin some gentle stretches. We'll bring our arms overhead, stretching out from head to toe, and then walk our feet over to the right and bring the head and arms over to the right. So you're making this crescent or banana shape. You can cross your left ankle over the right. Sometimes that modification can increase the stretch if you're not feeling anything. Transitioning with care, we'll bring our head and arms back center and then walk our feet all the way over to the left and make that same shape on the other side. You can play with crossing the right ankle over the left. And then just as you breathe, see if you can tell where you feel any tightness in the side of the body. Sometimes after a few deep breaths, you build a better connection with the sensations you're feeling. We'll bring the head back center, bring our feet back center. Then we're going to draw our knees into our chest and gently rock side to side. We'll bring our right knee to our chest and slide the left leg straight. You can also keep the left leg bent. You can play and see what feels best for you. We'll go ahead and take the left knee into our chest, take our right leg straight, take a deep breath here. And returning both knees to chest, we'll draw big circles with our knees in one direction. We're tracing our pelvic bowl. We'll do about 4 in each direction. Bringing the knees back to chest, we're going to come to roll like a ball. We'll tuck our chin, peel our shoulder blades off the mat, and then begin to rock forward and back. You can draw the navel center towards your spine, and notice how your core can help you control your stop and start as you move forward and backwards. Next time we're up, we'll stay up, see if we can hold for just a moment, a little quick boat. And then we'll come over to all fours, line our knees under our hips, our wrists under our shoulders, and move right into our cat-cow flow. Exhaling, we're rounding our spine, dropping our tail and dropping our head. Inhaling, lifting our chest, lifting our tail. Just move with the rhythm of your own breath. Of course, you can feel free to hold one position if that stretch is feeling really good. Just don't hold your breath. We'll return to child's pose. Before we move forward, here's a reminder that child's pose is our rest pose. So anytime you want to skip a few poses, feel free to return to child's pose or any other pose that you find restful at that moment. Returning to all fours, we'll walk our hands out to a kneeling plank. Keeping the tops of our feet to the floor, we're going to slowly lower all the way to the mat. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Gently peel our chest looking just past the top of our mat. And then exhaling, we'll stretch into active child's pose, keeping our hands in place to continue this kneeling vinyasa flow. Inhaling to our kneeling plank, exhaling, lowering with control, inhaling, shining our heart as we lift through baby cobra, exhaling, active child's pose. We'll flow through one more time, allowing our breath to be our guide. As you finish your last kneeling vinyasa, we'll sink all the way back to child's pose, letting our hips find our heels again. And then adding a side stretch, we'll walk our hands over to the right, sinking into the left hip, breathing into the left ribs. And walking our hands over to the left, finding a stretch through the right side, breathing, allowing that breath to help us release tension. We'll walk our hands back center. If your arms and wrists are feeling strong today and you'd like to try downward facing dog with me, return to all fours and then walk the hands out slightly. You're going to curl your toes under and lift your knees off the mat, bringing your hips up and back. You may want to pedal your heels. This helps stretch and loosen up through the calves and through the hamstrings. Or you can find stillness. Notice if you're straining your neck, let your head drop heavy. You're drawing your shoulder blades down the back. Sometimes our weight will shift just into our wrist. Spread your fingers wide. Think of the L of your index finger and your thumb pressing into the mat. Your hands like starfish. You can play with shortening your stance or lengthening it, just seeing how this pose feels. If the neck wants to turn, you can turn the head left and right or nod. And then let's go ahead and step our feet to our hands and meet in forward fold, bending the knees a lot. Inhaling, we'll rise tall to mountain. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Bring our hands to heart center. We'll step wide on our mat. Inhaling, we'll sweep the arms up. Exhaling, we're going to swan dive to forward fold, hinging from the hips, bending the knees a lot. Inhaling, we'll find a halfway lift, bringing our hands to our shins so we can straighten the legs. Our back is extended and flat. And release again to that forward fold. We'll bend the knees a lot. Inhaling, rise up tall, bring our hands overhead. And then add a side stretch. You can gently hold on to your forearm as you stretch. I'll take it over to the other side, reaching up and over, planting your feet into the floor. Next, we'll flow mountain and chair. As you exhale, bend the knees, your weight are in your heels, and your hips go back. You can bend a little, or you can take it a little bit deeper. The feet can be hip distance, or you can take the stance wider. Listen to how your hips and your knees feel and find the position that feels perfect for you today, or even skip bending the knees and just focus on the upper body. We're going to step a little wider. Our toes are facing slightly out. We're going to bring our arms out to the side and then bend our elbows, palms facing forward. As you exhale, bend your knees, and as you inhale, straighten the legs, reach your arms overhead. This is called Moonflower Flow, and I have to admit, I love the name of this pose. Exhaling, bending the knees, making a W with the arms. Active hands, spread your fingers wide. See if you can feel the muscles in your back as you pull your arms down and draw your elbows towards the floor. And if you're feeling strong here, we're going to hold for goddess pose. Bring our arms out wide, palms facing up. Shoulders stack over the hips, spine's nice and tall. Notice your feet, and we'll release. Bring the hands to heart center, turn our toes forward, And then start to play with some warrior poses. Your right toes point out to the side and then bend the right knee, stacking the knee over the ankle. For your back foot, your toes are facing the long edge of the mat. Arms are out to a T, shoulders drop away from the ears, and then come back to your breath. Just come into that awareness. Think of where your body is in space as you drop the back arm and sweep the right arm up and back, adding a side bend. This is reverse warrior. And your next exhale will flow through warrior two and then gently rest our forearm to our thigh. Your top arm can reach straight up towards the sky, or you can turn the palm in and bring the bicep near the ear. Choose the position that helps you feel that you're creating space through the shoulders where you feel a good stretch. We'll return back to warrior two, and then we're going to move over to the other side. So we'll switch the left toes to the short edge of the mat, aligning the heel with the back arch, then bending the left knee to stack over the ankle, arms out to a T, palms face down. You're gazing just past your left fingertips. We'll drop the back arm, sweep the left arm up and back to reverse warrior, adding our side bend. And as you take your next exhale, we'll bring our forearm to our thigh and see how it feels for side angle on this side, reaching the arm up or drawing the arm near the ear. Coming back through warrior two, we'll straighten the knee, and now we'll set up on the other side again, turning our right toes to the short edge of the mat. Keeping the legs straight, we're going to bring our arms out to a T, reach past the right toes, and then windmill the arms for triangle pose. We don't want to put any pressure on the knee. You can place your hand above or below the knee. You can continue to move towards the floor, but the floor doesn't need to be the goal. Instead of think of lengthening your spine, finding a twist. You can look straight ahead or peek up towards your top hand. Then we'll soften the knee, come back tall, and try our triangle pose on the other side, turning the left toes to the short edge, bringing our arms back out to a T, reaching past the left toes, and then windmilling the arms to triangle pose. Opening your chest to the side of the room and choosing your gaze. We're going to bring ourselves back tall. If you have blocks, press pause and grab them. Mine just magically appeared. We're going to hinge forward from our hips with a wide-legged fold. And here I'm demonstrating a few ways you can use the blocks to support yourself in this fold, but you don't have to have the blocks here. But it does bring the floor closer to you if you find that more supportive. Or if you're fine getting your hands to the floor, but maybe you would like some support for your head, you can stack the blocks, let your forehead find the blocks, and that may bring some tension out of your neck. You can heel toe the feet wider or more narrow. Continuing to breathe. then we can either use one block or use our fingertips. We're going to keep our left hand on the block and then sweep our right hand towards the sky. When we're twisting, we're keeping a nice long spine. You can play with the height of your block. One more deep inhale here, and then exhaling, we'll unwind our twist, and then inhaling, we'll take our twist to the other side. And then exhaling, we'll unwind our twist. Heel toe our feet back together. Bend the knees a lot and bring ourselves back tall to mountain. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Move towards the wall or sturdy furniture if you'd like some extra support as we play with tree pose. You can bring your foot to a kickstand or to your calf, or you can play with a deeper stretch, bringing your foot up into your inner thigh. But be careful with this. We don't want to place our foot into our knee. And if you are choosing this position, press your thigh into your foot and your foot into your thigh. And then wherever you are, if you're feeling steady and you want to continue to add challenge, you can sweep the arms up. They can be straight up, or you can drop the elbows some, creating space in the neck and shoulders. Things that help with balance is finding a focal point to stare at, and also allowing yourself to remain calm as you stumble in and out of balance. Relax your jaw, continue to breathe. Take one more inhale, and then exhale. We'll release our tree, bring our hands back to heart center, and then take our time on the other side. Usually one side's a little easier to balance on than the other, so have patience with yourself if the first side was a breeze. Check in with the knee, keep the knee soft, make sure the foot's not pressing into the knee. If you're feeling steady where you are, we can play with bringing palms overhead or any other variation you'd like to take with your arms. Be any tree you'd like to be. One more inhale here, and then exhaling, we'll release. We're going to step back to the top of our mat. Inhaling, we'll sweep the arms up. Exhaling, we'll swan dive to forward fold. Place our hands to the floor, and then you can either come to down dog or lower down into child's pose. Then we'll drop our knees and all meet in child's pose. We're going to rise to stand on our knees. You may want to place a blanket under your knees. We're going to do a modified version of camel pose. Bring your fists to either side of your tailbone, and then lift up and out of your hips, and then begin to open your chest towards the ceiling. You can keep looking straight ahead, or you can look towards the ceiling if this feels comfortable for your neck. If you feel comfortable with back bends and you want to take this a little deeper, or I should say a lot deeper, I find this pose uncomfortable, we'll bring our hands to our heels. But if you are reaching back to the heels, we don't want to twist when we reach for them. You want to be in a position where you're open enough through the shoulders to just reach back and touch them. Some days I can, some days I can't. And your experience will be just as unique. So we'll leave our camel pose and come back seated. We're going to set up for boat pose. We'll bend the knees, find a tall spine, and rock off of our sit bones. Engage the core, and you can either keep your hands holding onto your thighs, that'll give you more support, or you can release the legs. See how this feels. You want to continue to add challenge. You can lengthen the legs, pointing the feet. Then we'll release, lower our feet to the floor, drop our knees out to the side to butterfly. You can play with how close the feet are to your body. You can take it further away. You can either keep your spine tall or fold over your butterfly legs, returning to your deep breathing. We'll bring ourselves back up tall, draw our knees together, and then hug the right knee into our chest, sliding the left leg straight. Inhaling, finding our tall spine. Exhaling, twisting to the left. And then unwinding our twist, taking the right leg straight, hugging the left knee in. Inhaling, tall spine. Exhaling, taking your twist to the left. We'll unwind our twist and scoot towards the bottom edge of our mat, making space to lower onto our back, meeting with knees to chest. And then we'll send the legs up straight for legs up the imaginary wall. We'll flex and point our feet, feeling a stretch through the shins and through the calves. Circling our ankles in one direction and then the other. And then we'll begin to drop our knees for happy baby. You can hold onto the back of your thighs, or if possible, you can reach up for the ankles. You can hold onto the outer edge of your feet. Or if you'd like to try big toe stretch, take your index and middle finger together and bring it between your big toe and your second toe. And then you're going to wrap the fingers around the toe and hold on as you rock side to side. Releasing happy baby, we'll bring our feet back to the mat with knees bent. We'll take our right ankle in front of the left knee. You can pause here or draw the left knee in towards the chest, finding a stretch through the right hip. We'll release the stretch, uncross, and then take the left ankle in front of the right knee and draw the right knee towards the chest. Relax the shoulders, continuing to breathe. We'll release, uncross, and drop our knees out to the side for reclining butterfly. Soles of the feet are together. We can draw the shoulder blades down the back a little more. We'll draw the knees together and set up our last twist. We'll stack the knees over our hips with our arms out to a T and drop our knees over to the left. You can look up or turn to your head to the right. On your next exhale, we'll look towards the ceiling and bring the knees up and over to the other side, and then turning the head where the neck feels best. On our next exhale, we'll look back towards the ceiling, bring our knees back center, and then we're going to return to corpse pose. And just a reminder, if corpse pose is too much on the low back, you can walk your feet to the width of the mat, drop your knees together instead. You can also relax in butterfly if that would feel comfortable too. As you take your next inhale, imagine filling the body with breath from head to toe. And as you exhale, let all the air out of the body. Feel yourself grow heavy, sinking into the support of the ground beneath you, giving yourself permission to rest. I'll stay with you for the next 2 minutes for our final relaxation. If you would like to stay here longer, feel free to pause the video and set a timer and enjoy your final relaxation. We'll wiggle our fingers, wiggle our toes, bring our awareness into the room again. Take another big stretch from head to toe. And we'll bend our knees, turn to one side, leaving our corpse pose, turning over to newborn baby. Fresh start for the rest of the day. And when you're ready, you can bring yourself up seated. You can sit with legs crossed or anything that feels comfortable. So we take our next inhale, we'll sweep our arms up overhead. Exhaling, bring our hands to heart center. Thank you so much for practicing yoga with me today. I'll see you next Saturday.